Oh, bloody hell. Hello, you lot. How you doing? Hope you're all well and dandy. Now, in the last video, actually, it's Monday morning today, and this morning would have gone live a video that I done on Friday, which was when I was sitting here and it was raining, and I was thinking to myself, this car's actually costing me more money than my old car. And this car is a small little car that's supposed to be more economical and cost less money. Less money to insure, tax, put fuel in it. You know, all around less money. So I decided to do a small calculation and come up with that video. It's only just gone live at 3 AM this morning, and the time now is 10 to 6. So I've not had any comments or anything on it yet, probably. I haven't looked. But this is like part 2 of it. I've done some more extensive calculations, which are on this notepad here. My wife and I done those yesterday, because we decided it's all just for fun, okay? You know, by all means put in the comments, but there's many things that I could be doing to make this car more economical. For example, my driving style. But my argument is, my driving style was the same. It's the same in any car, the same in the Land Rover as it is in this car, okay? I have the air conditioning on. I had it on in the Land Rover. I don't drive economically. I didn't drive economically in the Land Rover. You know, I go up and down all the gears. I don't coast in neutral. I don't turn it off. I don't turn it off in traffic. I don't do any of that. Alright? So I know there is ways that you can skip gears, you can coast down hills in neutral, or even some people turn the engine off when they're coasting down hills. You know, there's all them different ways, but I don't do any of it. Didn't do any of it in the Land Rover. My old car, by the way, was a Land Rover Discovery 2 TD5, and this is a Kia Picanto 1 Air with a 1 litre petrol engine. So, part 2 of the video, or the small series, it's very impromptu, just working it out for fun, because the situation is, I've got this car, there is no getting around it. This car it's my work car, that is it. Alright, could get a different car, but I can't get a different car. People go and get a bloody hybrid if you're concerned. Well, I'm not concerned. I just, you know, everyone hypes up and they're going, oh, get a small car, it costs you less money. Well, go and got a small car, it's costing me more money. So, these calculations, the Kia, which is this, as we know, is costing me in petrol around about £32 per week, because it's never the same. Alright, I'll explain afterwards, probably more, because that's what I tend to do. But I fill up with petrol every Thursday, yeah? It's a routine that I have. On a Thursday morning, before I go to work, I go to exactly the same petrol station, and I'll fill up to the brim. Not to when it goes click, to the brim. So you can see the petrol in the little filler there. It won't fit no more in it. And some weeks that'll be £22, £26. Other weeks it'll be £32, £36. You know, so there's a big variant in there. And the prices are roughly the same by a few pence. So that's one problem that we have with this car. It's unpredictable with the fuel. So Kia, petrol £32 per week. The Land Rover Discovery was between £10 and £11 per week. Usually, you know, a few pence. I never tried to stop it exactly on the pound. The minute that the fuel is on the top of the filler and it's brimmed and you can't fit no more in there is when I stop. And that was always between £11 and £10. So I've put 11 to make it a bit more expensive, to give the Kia a chance. What can you do? So Land Rover was £11 per week in diesel. Insurance on this Kia. We've actually only just renewed the insurance, so what I did was I got what I paid on the insurance on the Land Rover last. Obviously I've sold that now, but I've got me a bit of paper out and what I last paid on that, and then also what we paid this year for this Kia. Obviously insurance prices go up and down, we're fully aware. Insurance for my wife and I on this car, £255 for the year. Insurance for the Land Rover for my wife and I on that was £312 for the year. So it's a bit more expensive on the insurance than Land Rover was. The tax for 1 year on this Kia is zero. No tax. Zero tax. Tax for the Land Rover per year, £330. That was what I paid last year. MOTs are the same across the board where I go anyway. Some places cost 45, where I go is £35 for one MOT. That's the same for any car, Land Rover and this Kia. So that's all the costs that you've got to incur. Obviously there's repairs and tyres and shit like that, but well, you know, those are irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. They just pop up when they pop up. We're on about running costs. So for 1 year in this Kia, fuel, petrol only, £1,662. For 1 year for diesel in the Land Rover Discovery, £512. This is where it all goes tits up for the Kia, I'm afraid. It was winning with no tax and cheaper insurance, but now it's all gone downhill. So, the end calculation for 1 year of running each car. The Kia, £1,952. So this Kia is going to cost us, for 1 year of running, £1,952. And that'll be for this year of running, because as I say, this is this year's insurance prices and everything like that. The Land Rover would cost us for this year, if we were running that, £1,249. Obviously those prices may go up and down because of the diesel and petrol prices will go up and down, so, but now I can't understand how you know, why do people always go on and on and on and on about having go and get yourself a small car with a small little engine and you'll save a load of money, you know, over a bigger car, diesel as well, you know, a bigger 2.5 litre car. More weight. That Land Rover, this weighs, I can't remember now, I know this weighs less than a tonne. It's like 3/4 of a tonne or less than 3/4 of a tonne, about 800 kilograms I think. And that Land Rover weighed 2.8 tonnes. And it had a 2.5 litre diesel engine. And this has got a 1 litre petrol engine. You know, how can this be costing more money? I don't understand. I've got my theories. I have got my theories. You know, for one, for example, this little car is, I mean, I do a 15-mile trip every day. 15 miles here, 15 miles home. It's got a duration of motorways. It's got 2 very steep hills that this car just about gets up. The Land Rover went up with no trouble. This is my theory though. Now, because this is obviously designed for just zipping around a little bit of town, you know, running to the shop and back, you know, a little zipping around, nothing really real driving. So my theory, or that my wife and I's theory, is because it's doing the driving it's not designed to do, it's not designed to go on motorways, it's not designed to do any of that, that's why it's costing more in petrol. The Land Rover, this has got a lot less power. I think it's about 48 horsepower this has got. The Land Rover was standard at 140, but because it was remapped and I put that bigger turbo on it, I put the bigger intercooler, the bigger turbo, the 21 psi boost, the tubular manifold, the EGR valve I took off, the cat I took off. It was remapped, and it was, at the end of it, it was 210 horsepower. So that had to do a lot less work, you know. I barely had to touch the throttle, and I could stay in 4th and 5th a lot of the time. The hills here, there's a big hill that I come up to where I work. It's quite a big hill. I could come around the corner and I could go up that in 5th if I wanted to, but if there's a car behind me, you know, the speed limit on that's 50 mile an hour, but if I went up it in 5th, I could go up it about 40 mile an hour comfortably. Just pull me up nicely in 5th. But sometimes I'd stick it in 4th and put my foot down, I'd straight up there, you know, a big cloud of black smoke behind me. I loved it. But this car struggles to get up that hill. I have to drop down to 2nd to get up that hill, and foot flat to the floor. Otherwise it just bogs down and dies. If you're in, it won't do it in 3rd. It just will not do it. I don't care what anyone says. You can go around that corner as fast as you want to go. It goes, and you have to put it in 2nd, and it goes, just about gets up it. So my theory is, because this car's doing a lot more work, and also on the motorway, you know, to get this to 70 mile an hour, you've got your foot flat on the floor, and it's just reaching it, just getting there to 70, you know. If you're in this lane and there's a car and you want to, it won't go. You know, I don't know what the top speed's supposed to be on this car, but the Land Rover would just cruise. You wouldn't even have to touch the throttle. That's what I think anyway. This car's doing a lot more work than the Land Rover would have had to have done, which is why this is using a lot more fuel than the Land Rover used, because that was just ticking over. That would just go. It's no trouble for that. It had a bigger engine. It had no trouble, you know. That's my theory. Anyone wants to disagree or agree with that theory, go for it, you know. But there we go, my friends. You know, I had a lot of people before saying, oh, what you need to do is swap the engine out. Oh, man, I can't do that. I'm not doing any of that. The whole point of getting a smaller car, well, not necessarily a smaller car, just a bit of a newer car, was sort of cut down on repairing bills and things like that, because the Land Rover was bloody good. And I loved that car. It broke my heart when I had to sell that. Oh, mate, I regret it so much. Best car I've ever had. You know, did I regret selling the Focus RS, the Mark 1 Focus RS? No, that was annoying. I was only keeping that for an investment, and I had to sell it and lose money anyway. But selling the Discovery 1, the 300 TDI, and this TD5, I regret so much. I hate. It's just stupid. You know, the person I sold it to, I heard from him, and he's going, "This is the best one I've ever seen. You know, this is a pleasure to drive. This is brilliant." And I'm like, I know, dude, I know. I know. And now I've got to drive this thing. But it's a nice car, this Kia. It's nice. It's nice to drive and everything. But I must be honest, I was fully expecting to just, because, you know, all the time, the way we live our lives, we get paid weekly, we live weekly. And it's always a stretch. Every week is a big stretch, you know. Every penny we have to spend. So I was thinking, all right, I hate selling this Land Rover, but we're going to be much better off driving this little Kia. You know, we're going to be much better off money wise. You know, the stress and strain of money is going to be gone. But it's worse. It's bloody worse. So, yeah, I don't know, my friends, but you tell me what you think, and perhaps my calculations were wrong, I don't know. But if you add up insurance, you know, for a whole year's worth of running costs, don't forget you've got tyres, but you don't pay for tyres every year, do you? Well, if you're a cock you might do, and you drive like a twat, but I tend to make tyres last a few years. In fact, they go all cracked and that before they wear out. You know, so yeah, £1,952 for 1 year of Kia, £1,249 for 1 year of Land Rover. I'd be interested to hear anyone who's, there probably won't be, because people who watch this, watch my channel, ain't into small economical cars as much as I ain't. I don't care about economics. Economical things are, you know, clouds of smoke and burning fuels all I care about. But which is why I'm not bothered about how much petrol I burn. I'm just bothered about, you know, it should be less. Why is it wrong? Why is it like this? So if you've got one of these little Kia Picanto things, or if you've got another small car with a stupidly small engine that you can fit in your pocket, what's it like for you? You know, how much is your petrol costs, or perhaps even diesel if you've got a small little 1 litre diesel one that sounds like a bag of nails and clatter, clatter, clatter? What's it like? Is it expensive for you? You know, I don't know. I'll catch you on the next one there, my friends. I might have a bit more to add to this, I'm not sure yet, but as far as this goes, this is part 2. My calculations are there, and the end result is, you know, there's no getting around it. This little car is more expensive than a bigger car, well, for me, because I believe you buy a car for your needs. You wouldn't buy this car if you'd done a lot of mileage going to bloody Newcastle or Scotland, or if you was going the opposite way down south. But then again, you wouldn't buy, well, some people do because they're cocks, but if you was just driving around London City, you wouldn't buy a Land Rover or a Range Rover. But I know a lot of people do. London's full of Range Rovers and Land Rovers, but they're all rich and they don't give a shit. You know, they've got enough money to just do whatever they want. But you buy a car for your needs. If you wanted to tow a caravan, you wouldn't buy this. If you wanted to tow a caravan, you'd buy a Land Rover, or you'd buy another car that's more capable. So, anyway, enough rambling. I might have some more to add, but if not, this is probably going to be the end of the video. The little series, 2-video series on why is a small car more expensive than a big car, I don't know, is come to an end. As I said, comments are more than welcome. I'll catch you on the next one. All the best, and enjoy your week.